Hello everyone and welcome to Stan the Wine Man TV. I'm your host, Stan Rattan, aka Stan the Wine Man, and this is the Blue Collar Wine Show where I try to help you spend your wine dollars wisely. How do I do that? I taste the wines in front of you, I grade them, and then you decide for yourself if you think it's worth going out to buy them. The theme of my episode today was, I have a bunch of samples sitting on my desk, and I said, so what am I going to do? I don't want to do Rioja right now. Then I thought, well, why don't I do wines that, are a little bit different, a little off the beaten path. Maybe wines that you would not normally, maybe when you see them, you go, well, should I buy this one? One of them is a Portuguese red blend from Moreto. It is Alondra Red. It rolls in at $8, and it is a blend of Moreto, Castelao and Trincadeira. I'm sure all of you are very familiar with those wine varieties. What I like about Portuguese wines, and I think a lot of you, might be attracted to this because it's $8, but a lot of you might say, well, I don't know what this wine is. Why would I buy it? So Portuguese wines are really great values. Moreto does an excellent job. They have some great wines. And I just wanted to revisit this one. It's been a while since I've tasted it. So I'm going to do that for you guys. This is a 2012 Moreto Alondra Red. $8. We all like $8 wines. If they're good, that is. That's the key. I got my little boat we picked up while we were in Villanova de Gaia, a suburb of Porto, right across the river, the Douro River from Porto. Nice little boat. Port boat. Let's see what we get on the nose. So definitely cherries. Get a little blackberry component coming through. It's a little dusty. Got a dusty thing going on. A little licorice. Pretty interesting. Let's see what we get on the palate. I'm going to say that's a nice little red. Good fruit. I got a good cherry. I get the blackberry, just a hint of cranberry. Not very much. Just enough to kind of brighten it up a little bit. Sorry. It's got the tobacco. There's some tobacco there. Definitely getting the licorice on the palate. I'm even getting some interesting blue fruit component coming through on the mid palate, like blueberries a little bit. A little bit of minerality on the back end, which is really intriguing. This is one of those wines that could fall into this is a delicious little red, but it has some old world attitude to it with that minerality on the backside, but it's not so much that most of you out there that, maybe aren't into old world wines, you wouldn't be put off by that. You wouldn't say, oh, it's too much minerality. Because we all know there are wines that really are like you just chewed up a bunch of rocks. This doesn't go there. This even has a little red flower component. The finish is decent. I mean, pretty decent. I'm always looking at, is this $8 really? It's not like a big full-bodied wine, but for $8 I think it does exactly what it wants to do. It delivers a really nice quality red at a good price. And you talk about a wine that's good with hamburgers, good with pizza, good with hot dogs, wine that you could just sit and sip and watch something on TV. This is a perfect wine. And like I said, the price is right. I'm going to go B- on this wine. Hedging towards C+, but I'm going to go solid. I'm going to go solid B- because I think it delivers a lot of. There's a lot going on in this wine for the money. A little old world, a little delicious, a little minerality. Can't ask for more than that for $8. Let's move on to the next one. Nice start, B-, $8 wine. Now we're going to go to Jed Steele's Shooting Star 2011 Blaufrankisch, Washington State Blaufrankisch. Now, how many of you have had a Blaufrankisch lately? You know, if you're into Austrian or German wines, you no doubt have tried these. Jed is out of California, gets his fruit, his Blaufrankisch, from Washington State. And what we have called it for years up here in Washington State is Lemberger. And maybe you're familiar with that one more than you are Blaufrankisch. It means blue franc. The grapes are thick-skinned, late ripening, usually a little higher in tannins, and they're supposed to have a really spicy characteristic to them. We'll see what this one delivers. Jed has been doing this one for quite a while, and it's been a while since I've tasted it, so let's see what we get on the nose. $14, if I didn't tell you that already. This has a lot of like plum action. Plums and like boysenberry. Hints of cherry, get a little kind of like a soft spiciness coming through. A little vanilla. It's almost like a soap component, like you know how those little like those little tiny bars of soap that are perfumed. It has a kind of a perfumey soap perfume smell to it. Let's see what we get on the palate. Almost like cherries with the cherry pit kind of ground into them. This is a very interesting wine. It's very bright. I get nice bright like red fruits right up in the front. And then there's like a licorice in the mid palate that just kind of hangs in there. It's good. It's got good acidity. There's no doubt about that. Excuse me. It's an interesting wine. It's got the fruit there, the red fruits, bright acidity, but it's not so much so that it's like mouth puckering. It just really pops the fruit. I mean, this is a bright wine, and then they get that licorice kind of tobacco component coming through on the finish. Like I said, red cherries all day with the pit. And yes, there is some tannic structure on the back end of this one. A little bit of a grip. This is a food wine, my friends. This wine, if you're doing prime rib next month at Christmas time, this would be a great bottle of wine with the prime rib. It'd be good with, I would have this with leg of lamb. That acid would work out nicely with the fruit, with the food. Anytime you're doing a grilled steak, this would be a nice wine. So if you haven't tried a Blaufrankisch, a Lemberger, I would encourage you to do so. I always encourage people to expand their palates. This is under $15. It's $14. It's a good bottle of wine, good structure, good acidity. This actually, I would say, you could age this for 3 to 5 years easily, with that fruit and that structure. You could drink this by itself, no food, but it's going to be a little bright. Food would help it a lot. I'm going to go B- on that one also. On to the next one. On to the next one. On to the next one. Okay. Now we're moving in. The reason I think this one's interesting, it's got a cool label, that's for sure. But it's from a country that is not really known for producing straight up Syrah. It's from Spain. And I just do not see straight up Syrah from Spain very often, so this struck my curiosity. It is Fredriani Lafitte 2012 Syrah from Valencia, the region of Valencia, Spain. It rolls in at $10. Pretty cool label. And once again, I just have to say I have not seen a lot of straight up Syrah come out of Spain. So I thought, well, this is kind of curious. Let's see what it delivers for $10. Let's see what we get on the nose. Woo! Woo! Baby! Now that's poopy. That is some serious stink action on the nose. Now, don't let that scare you. Stink can be good wine. It just, you can't deny that this has a poopy nose. Woo. Now I'm getting a little bit of like a nutmeg action coming through. The stink is kind of rolling off. I'm getting some currants and blackberries and boysenberries. Kind of that dark fruit thing going on. A little bit of dirt action, you know, forest floor as they say, whatever that brings to mind for you, that's what I'm getting out of it. But through all that, poop, forest floor, all that stuff, there's a nice little, like a baking spice component coming through on the nose. Let's see what we get on the palate. Very interesting that I got so much dark fruit on the nose. It brightened up quite a bit on the palate. It turned to more like a kind of a dark and red cherry blend with the currants underneath, with a red and black currant thing going on. Some serious grip action on the back end. Interesting wine. Doesn't taste like a lot of Syrah that I've tasted from Washington State or California. Doesn't even really have, well, might have a little bit of that funkiness of the Rhone Valley Syrah blends. I like it and I don't like it. It's kind of weird. I mean, there's parts of it I really like. I like the kind of the brightness of the fruit. The finish is really nice. Has a little grip. You can get the tannins on the back end. But there's some weird sort of element in the mid palate that I can't quite put my finger on. It kind of flattens out, like gets real boring in the middle. I know a lot of you guys, I have a lot of friends that are going to love this wine. It's really old world. It has a lot of things going on in it. It's got that minerality, dark and red fruits all blended together. It's got kind of a weirdness on the mid palate. Can't put my finger on it. Don't want to really, you know, be too critical because I can't quite understand that mid palate. Maybe it's that kind of roasted meat thing going on in the middle. You know, that's not a bad wine. $10, another really good value. And I have to say that, you know, like I said, I've never really seen too many Syrah, straight up Syrah out of Spain. This one for $10 is a pretty good value. I'm going to go B- on that one too. I think all three of them are B- wines. They're better than average, not quite stellar, but good wines, all of them. You know, so I would encourage you as a wine drinker, and you know, you can make a comment if you want. down below. I wish you would. One of the viewers said they had trouble making a comment, so I don't know, maybe I've got something set up I have to look at on my YouTube channel. I do like to get comments. It just makes it more exciting to see the interaction, and I like responding to comments, and you know, it's just fun to know that my friends are watching. I have an audience out there. I know I have an audience out there, but you know, tell me what you think. Would you spend $10 on a Syrah from Spain? Are you willing to go $8 on a blend from Portugal that doesn't put what's in it on the back? And would you be up to trying a Blaufrankisch from Washington State? Let me know. Cheers. Thanks for watching. And here's to keeping the snob out of wine.